Hey gamers, in this video we're going to go back to Roll20 and I'm going to show you how to create rollable tables. Hey gamers, welcome back to Game Master's Dungeon. I am Brian, your Game Master, and today we're going to go back to Roll20. We're going to do another video. This is really going to be for the GMs. We're going to talk about creating rollable tables inside of Roll20 that are really going to help you save time in a lot of different ways. So if you're ready, let's load it up, be ready to follow along, and let's get into it. Alright gamers, so here we are. We're back in Roll20. I've got the test game that we've been using in some of the previous videos loaded up here. We're going to do a quick video. I'm going to go over the basics of how to use and create rollable tables in your game. Now as a GM, this is an invaluable tool on multiple levels that we're going to talk to while we're doing this. So if you're ready, let's get started, okay? So what you're going to do, you're going to start out, so up here, all of your different options. You look at this icon right here, okay? We're going to click this. This is going to bring up several things. So macros, this is going to be something for a later video. Decks of cards. Then we got rollable tables. So what you're going to do, you're going to click add. Okay? And now you just see it just creates just a table with nothing in it, 2 buttons, and a generic name. So what you do is you just click on the name, okay? So this we're gonna call this one. We're gonna call this random street encounters. Okay. Now there's an option that players can roll from a table. I'm gonna select this one to no. Now some tables you can't. So say you create some kind of table that it's like maybe. It's kind of like a deck of cards, but not quite. You don't want to use a deck, but a rollable table will be better. Everybody's imagination is going to be a little different on how to use these different things. But most of mine, I'm the only one going to be rolling for my tables because it's going to be information that only I'm going to want to see that I'm going to be able to implement into my game. Okay. So then we're going to click Add Item. Okay. So then it's going to bring up this other little box. So the name, so everything that when you click the roll button, all the description is going to be in this line right here. So we're going to start with, we're going to say 1 street thug. Okay, and let's maybe make it caps, right? Let's be okay. Now we can drop a file in here, like a picture, if we wanted to. I'll talk about why you want to do this, yay or nay, here in a second. So basically, we're pretty much done. And we're going to talk about the weight here in a minute. We're going to make a few more items, and then we'll come back, okay? So we're going to add another item. Let's say we'll go, this one will be 2 street thugs. Street thugs. So we're going to say we're going to be using this in Mutants and Masterminds. We'll say a low power villain. Okay. And we're going to say we'll say a homeless man or homeless guy, a homeless person that you come across. This is maybe you're creating this for like I said, random street encounters. Your characters are going down the street and you want to throw a random encounter at them. It doesn't always have to be something bad. Maybe they encounter this homeless person and they have the option to, maybe help them out, give them some money, food, a place to stay, a blanket. It gives you those options to see where the characters are, like morality-wise, not just about combat-wise, right? We'll add one more. We're going to say mugging in progress. Okay? Save changes. All right. So now we got 5 things. Okay? So now if we click save changes, and now if we were to come over here and just roll, okay? This is going to just roll it looks a little goofy, right? This is just the basics, right? This is just the basics. You know, we're going to get into, you know, more advanced settings and maybe in another video. This is just to get you guys going with using these to help you save some time. All right, so I rolled 1. So it uses like this, you know, kind of code 1 lowercase t brackets random street encounters bracket. So you came across a mugging in progress, you know, and let's maybe roll it again. What else did we get? Oh, another mugging in progress. Oh man, lots of muggings in the city today. Oh, we got a street thug. So what does all this mean? How is it rolling this? All right. So we're gonna go back and we're gonna click on it here. So you got your 5 things. Okay, got your mugging in progress. Now you'll see like this weight. If you hover over this, so the number of times this item appears on the table. Higher weights are rolled more frequently. You can also think of the weight in terms of percentages. And then the percentage here. Example, weight of 25 is a 25% chance. Doesn't include the percent sign, as long as your weights add up to 100%. So there's a couple of ways you could do it. All right, so let's make one more item here as an example. Let's say building fire. This is what you come across. So we got 6 items. So basically when you roll this, it's going to be like rolling a d6 on this dice. Going as, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're going to roll. What do we get? All right. So basically it rolled in the background, it rolled us a building fire. Roll a few more times here. What do we get? All right. So we roll a low power villain, 2 street thugs, a low power villain, building fire, a low powered villain. Okay. So now you're going to come over here. Let's talk about weights. So if we want to adjust the weight and make it like a percentage base, say you're making like a loot table or something is more likely to appear than something else, that's where the weights come in. So we're going to get rid of this just to make things super easy. So we've got 5 things. So technically everything has a 20% chance, right? But say we want this street thug to have a higher chance of being rolled. So we're going to give him a 30% chance, okay? 2 street thugs, maybe they're going to have a 20%. Okay? A low power villain, maybe there's not a ton of them running around, but maybe he's only got a 10% chance. Homeless person, we're going to give him a 20%. And then a mugging in progress, 20. All right, let's check my math. So 30, 20 is 50, 10 is 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Okay? So now, we'll save changes there. And you're going to come over here and you're going to roll. All right? 2 street thugs. We're just going to roll a few times here and see what we get. So 2 street thugs, 2 street... Wow. It's really rolling the crap out of that. There we go. See? It's all a matter of mathematics, right? We got 2 street thugs a bunch of times. So we got a mugging in progress and a street thug. But now let's go back and maybe let's do like this. You know, maybe you want this at like 50. 10. We'll leave him at 10. We'll leave this at 20. So 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Make this 10. Okay. Low power villain. Street thugs, homeless person. Now, like I said, so this is just the basics. Alright, so as you can see, that's like an encounter-based rollable table. Well, what else could you use it for? Let's go back here. Let's create us a new one. So maybe we're thinking D&D here. We're going to say random weapon. Okay? So maybe this is going to be used for You know, you open up a chest, or they go open up there's like a weapon rack, and you need some stuff that's on there. Instead of getting out your book and flipping through it and taking all that time, go ahead and create up some of these rollable tables, so then you can just hit it a couple of times. Short sword, let's say a short bow. We'll say, what is it? Longbow, dagger, and a crossbow. Okay. So we got 6 more items, right? So we save changes, and then we just roll that. What do we find on the weapon rack? We find a longbow, right? All kinds of things you could do with it. You can really just kind of let your imagination run wild. So, but then if, say you go back to this and you want, say you want everything, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say there's a short sword, there's a 95% chance that there's a short sword on this rollable table. So everything else has a 1% chance. Let's see if we get lucky. Short sword. Roll a bunch of times here, see what we get. Yeah, see? Short sword. 95% chance. A bunch of short swords. So when you adjust the weight, right, it's going to give you different variables on how often certain items are going to be rolled. Maybe there's rarer items on your table versus more common items, such as this. Now let's talk about what we would, what else we could use them for. So we got encounters, we've got weapons. You could, maybe if you're playing Mutants and Masterminds, you could put on a bunch of different powers. You can make several tables with different powers. Maybe you're trying to come up with a villain on the fly that you didn't come up with beforehand. You could hit those tables a couple of times, and different powers at different ranks or whatever. You could do something like that. You're playing different games that would need different random elements, right? Besides random encounters, weapons, things like that. Gyms, you could do like, what else could you do? You could do like townsfolk, things like that. You could do different locations, different like weather effects. You know, what's the weather like today? Boom, you hit the button. Oh, it's rainy, it's cloudy, it's sunny, things like that. So if you don't want to sit and think of all this stuff, make a bunch of tables ahead of time, and then you can just, as you're playing, you can quickly just roll on those, and you can just go from there. If you really want to maintain that flow, like when you get into the game and you're role playing and everybody's like focused and everything's going smooth, but then when you have to stop, and if you have to get out your book and flip, and they're getting their book, then people get out their phones and everybody loses track. And these are really going to help you stay on task and on focus. Alright, gamers, so that was like the basics of creating rollable tables in Roll20. It's a really great tool. It's a great function. I'm glad they've got something like that in there, because it's really going to help you, really kind of regardless of what game you're going to be playing. It's really going to help you save a lot of time during the game. There's some setup before, but during the game you'll be able to have those set up, and it'll really just help you keep your flow, keep everything going, plan ahead of maybe something that you might not think about. Have a table for that particular scenario, townsfolk, the location, like what's in the bottom of this cave or whatever, what kind of weather effects, kind of stuff we talked about. Little things like that your players might ask about, or that maybe you don't think of while you're writing your story and your game, that you might need to know. And then once you create them, you always have them set up and ready to go. Okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, hit the like button. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button if you want to help support my channel. Also hit the bell icon so when I upload new videos, you get instant notification. You can follow me over on Twitter at GameMastersDone1. I put updates when I upload videos, or ideas of videos that I might be coming out with, or things I might be doing in my gaming life. I would also like to see what you guys are doing out there as well. Also, feel free to join the Discord server, link in the description below. Come join me and some of my other subscribers. We're having some great conversations about different topics, different games, and things like that. We'd love to have you over there and join that. So, until I see you again in the dungeon, I am Brian, your Game Master, and happy gaming.